I would like to introduce my friend, my colleague, General Mike Hayden.
We took as the theme for the first year this Truth Tellers in the Bunker. 2016, Oxford Dictionary's word of the year, post-truth. Okay? Action based upon preference, feeling, or emotion, rather than a view of objective reality.
We are conducting journalism under attack in a bunker to call out things that are not normal. The sort of disparaging of the intelligence community, the 8-day war with a Gold Star widow, that's not normal. And so the White House would call every morning, why won't you let it go? And I said, do you follow the president on Twitter? When he lets it go, I'll let it go.
Jim Rutenberg, I think is his name, the media reporter for the New York Times, said that it's hard to cover Trump because when you're covering someone who's constantly lying and constantly doing crazy things, just playing it straight looks oppositional. So I do believe that the primary norm breaker by far is the president, and I think he's doing great damage to our institutions. However, there's a lot of concern that he's changing presidential norms. I don't really think that's true. A lot of the things, almost everything except for his attacks on the media, and I'll come back to that, but almost all of his other norm breaches, I don't think future presidents will follow them.
I think like much of what you're hearing about the relationship between the president and the press, which is being driven in part by this kind of populist movement, right, that Trump tapped into. As I told many of my colleagues and friends during the election last year, who would say, how is it that people are attracted to this guy? Why is he getting this support? And I said, you can't look down on these people. That's not the right response, okay?
I don't know of a time when a free and independent media is more important to this country. We're under, I believe, our institutions are under assault. I said this on a CNN interview with Jake Tapper in last February. Externally from the Russians, and this to me is the big message here, and frankly is a lot more important. As important as it is, I don't mean to minimize it, but it's much more important than collusion, whether there was collusion or not. The bigger message here, and one of the reasons that I'm following in Mike's footsteps and to speak out publicly, Mike's a tremendous role model for me in doing that, is to try to do what I can to educate the public about this profound threat to our very system. In the collusion business, that'll all work out, that'll pan out somehow, but the bigger threat, which the American public has got to be aware of, is the threat posed by the Russians, who are bent on undermining our system.